Beloved, I stand before you with a voice that trembles not out of fear, but out of reverence for the truth that lives within us all. There are those among us who were born not merely to walk this earth, not merely to breathe the air or take their place in the shadows of ordinary living. There are those who bear the invisible signs, the quiet scars, the radiant marks of destiny etched upon their souls. These marks are not drawn in ink, not stitched into skin, not visible to the naked eye of every passer-by. They are carved deep in the marrow of the spirit, glowing only when the chosen one steps forward to claim what has always belonged to them. And so the question I pose to you is not whether the world has granted you recognition, not whether the crowds have shouted your name, but whether you have dared to look inward and ask yourself with unshaking honesty, do you bear the marks? Do you carry the flame? Do you have one? For the marks of the chosen one are not smooth adornments. They are often wounds that have been turned into wisdom. They are nights spent in solitude, while others feasted and laughed. They are tears that fell in silence, watering the soil of your becoming when no one else could see you bloom. These marks are not always medals. They are sometimes burdens carried on bent backs until strength grew out of the ache. The chosen ones are those who were broken, but refused to remain shattered, who were ignored but refused to fade away, who were battered by storms but stood again, drenched yet undefeated. These are not the marks the world gives. These are the marks the universe bestows. They are birthrights of resilience, signatures of destiny. And when you recognize them in yourself, you must stand taller, not in arrogance but in reverence to the calling that has claimed you. Think of the way fire dances. Fire does not apologize for burning. It consumes because that is its nature. The chosen one carries that same fire within, a burning that will not allow complacency, that will not allow retreat. This fire shows itself in the hunger you feel when others are satisfied with crumbs, in the thirst that rises within you when others sip lightly at the cup of life. It shows in your refusal to be content with mediocrity, in your insistence on climbing when the hill is steep, in your quiet declaration that you will not sit down when your bones cry for rest. This fire is the mark. If you feel it in you, if you know it, then you are chosen. Do you feel that restlessness? Do you hear that whisper that says, you were made for more? Do you feel that invisible hand pressing you forward, even when the path is thorned and the night is long? That, my beloved, is the mark. But understand this, the chosen one is not chosen for ease, not chosen for comfort, not chosen for luxury. The chosen one is chosen to carry the weight, to endure the trial, to walk where the air is thin and the stones are sharp. The mark is both a gift and a responsibility. It is not bestowed upon you so you may boast. It is given so that you may rise. It is not a crown to sparkle in the sunlight, but a torch to burn through the night. To carry this mark is to accept that you will be misunderstood, that you will be doubted, that you will be envied, and sometimes even betrayed. But still you must move forward. For the chosen one cannot hide their light. The mark glows even through rags, even through dust, even through wounds. And when the world tries to snuff you out, the mark burns brighter, for it was never meant to be extinguished. Many of you may say, I do not see the mark on me. I do not feel the fire. I am ordinary. And to you I say, look again. Look into your own story. Look at the mountains you have already climbed, the storms you have already survived, the nights you have already endured. The fact that you are still standing, breathing, listening, hoping, that alone is a mark. The chosen one is not born with trumpets announcing their arrival. The chosen one is born like everyone else. But in the silence of their trials, in the depths of their struggle, they are forged. The question is not whether you look like the chosen one. The question is whether you will embrace the marks you already carry. There is a mark in the way you keep going after failure. There is a mark in the way you love, even after heartbreak. There is a mark in the way you give, even when your hands are empty. There is a mark in the way you rise every morning, tired but determined, unseen but unbroken. There is a mark in your laughter after tears, in your hope after despair, in your courage after fear. These are not small things. These are the signs that you were called, selected, anointed to bear more than you thought you could handle. And each time you think you cannot continue, each time you feel the weight is too much, that is when the mark glows brighter. For it is not in your ease that you are proven chosen, it is in your endurance. Now I must tell you this, there will be those who cannot see your marks, those who will deny them, those who will try to convince you that you are unworthy of them. Do not be swayed. The chosen one does not need validation from the blind. Your task is not to convince others of your mark, your task is to walk in it. For the river does not beg the stones to believe it will carve the valley, it simply flows and in time the valley appears. So too must you flow, steady and unyielding, until the world itself bears witness to the marks you carry. The chosen one's mark is also seen in the courage to dream. Dreams are not fragile ornaments meant for display, they are seeds meant for planting. And when you plant them, storms will come, weeds will choke, drought will threaten, but still you must tend the soil. The chosen one dreams not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. The dream itself is a mark, proof that you were meant to bring something into the world that did not exist before. Do you have a dream that will not leave you alone? Do you have a vision that visits you in the night, that calls to you in the morning, that follows you through your waking hours? That dream is your mark. Honor it, protect it, pursue it, for it is not given to everyone, it is given to the chosen. And yet, the mark is not only for you, the chosen one is not chosen for selfish gain. The mark is given so that you might light the path for others, so that you might stand as a pillar when others crumble, so that you might speak when silence is dangerous, so that you might lift when others are sinking. The mark is a responsibility to more than yourself. It is the reason why the chosen one cannot afford to quit, cannot afford to retreat, cannot afford to hide. For your rising is not yours alone, it is a rising that will carry others with you. When you shine, you give permission for others to shine. When you endure, you teach others how to endure. When you win, you remind others that victory is possible. Your mark is the evidence that you were called to serve something greater than yourself. Do not think the mark will always feel noble. Sometimes it feels heavy. Sometimes it feels unfair. Sometimes it feels like punishment. But know this, the mark is never given without purpose. The universe wastes nothing. Your pain will not be wasted. Your struggle will not be wasted. Your tears will not be wasted. All of it will be transformed into strength, into wisdom, into compassion, into fire. That is the alchemy of the chosen. What was meant to destroy you becomes the very thing that defines you. What was meant to break you becomes the very thing that builds you. What was meant to bury you becomes the very soil from which you grow. So I ask again, do you have one? Do you feel the mark upon you? Do you feel the weight and the wonder of it? Do not shrink from it. Do not deny it. Do not delay it. Stand in it. Walk in it. Claim it. For the chosen one is not waiting to be chosen by others. The chosen one is waiting to choose themselves. To stand and say, yes, it is I. I carry the mark. I bear the fire. I accept the calling. And when you say this, not in arrogance but in truth, not in pride but in surrender, the world will shift. Doors will open. Paths will appear. Strength will rise. And you will see that the mark was not a curse but the greatest gift you could ever bear. So rise, beloved. Rise with your marks, your scars, your wounds, your dreams, your fire. Rise knowing you are chosen, knowing you are called, knowing you are marked for greatness. The world needs you, not the version that hides, not the version that shrinks, but the version that stands tall in the truth of their mark. Rise and let your mark shine like the dawn. Rise and let your mark roar like the storm. Rise and let your mark flow like the river. Rise and let your mark burn like the fire. Rise and declare with every breath, with every step, with every action. I am chosen. I am marked. I am here. Now tell me, beloved, do you have one? Beloved, let us walk further into this truth together. For a truth so vast cannot be contained in a single breath, nor a single moment, nor even a single gathering of words. It must be unfolded slowly, like a great tapestry whose colors reveal themselves, thread by thread. The chosen one, the one who bears the sacred marks, is not an accident of time, nor a mistake of circumstance. They are deliberate, intentional, placed upon this earth for a purpose that reaches beyond their comprehension. Those marks, those invisible signatures, are proof that there is something in you that cannot be extinguished, no matter how fierce the storm, nor how merciless the darkness. And it is important to remember that these marks are not the privilege of the comfortable, nor the ornament of the idle, nor the inheritance of the complacent. These marks belong to the ones who have wrestled with shadows, to the ones who have cried until their eyes ached, to the ones who have been bent by the wind and yet refused to break. They belong to the ones who have known hunger, the ones who have known doubt, the ones who have walked barefoot over burning stones. And yet somehow, in spite of it all, or perhaps because of it all, they kept rising. You see, the chosen one is not chosen in the absence of struggle, but in the presence of it. The mark is not stamped upon silk, it is branded upon scars. It is in the way your heart still beats after disappointment. It is in the way your soul still sings after silence. It is in the way your spirit still soars even when your wings have been clipped. And I tell you, beloved, those who carry the marks may not even recognize them at first. They may feel cursed rather than called, burdened rather than blessed. They may say, "Why me? Why must I carry this weight? Why must I endure this pain?" But in time, in patience, in persistence, they come to see that the very thing that threatened to undo them was shaping them for their destiny. The mark is not to be pitied, it is to be honored. And the chosen ones are not marked only for themselves. They are marked for their people, for their communities, for their children yet unborn, for the strangers they will never meet, but whose lives will be softened, healed, or lifted by the chosen one's courage. Your mark is a bridge between what is and what could be. It is a hand reaching backward to lift another, even as your eyes are fixed forward upon the horizon. To be chosen is to accept that your life is not entirely your own. To be chosen is to carry both the grief and the glory of many souls at once. You are called not to shine in isolation but to ignite others, to be a spark that spreads into 1,000 fires. Some of you may ask, how do I know if I have the mark? Look at your life. Look at the doors that closed in your face, the voices that doubted you, the betrayals that left you hollow, the rejections that made you question your worth. And then look at the fact that you are still here. That is the mark. The chosen ones are those who have been struck down but stand again. They are those who have been silenced, but still find words. They are those who have been chained but still find ways to dance. If you are still breathing after all that tried to suffocate you, then, beloved, you carry the mark, and do not mistake the mark for ease. The chosen path is not paved with gold, it is paved with grit, it is paved with sweat, it is paved with the stones thrown by doubters, it is paved with the ashes of dreams that burned away, only to give rise to greater dreams. The chosen one does not float through life untouched. No, they are tested at every turn. They are pressed against the wall. They are forced to their knees. But what sets them apart is not immunity from pain. It is the decision to rise in spite of it. The mark is resilience. The mark is defiance. The mark is the audacity to look the night in the eye and still expect the morning. Beloved, the chosen one also bears a restlessness. The mark makes it impossible to settle for the small when the great calls your name. The chosen cannot be content with shadows when they know they were born for light. They cannot be content to whisper when they know their voice was meant to thunder. They cannot be content to crawl when wings sprout from their shoulders. The mark will not let you rest in mediocrity. It will not let you surrender to despair. It will not let you pretend you are less than what you are. Even when you try to run from it, the mark will follow. Even when you try to silence it, the mark will shout. Even when you try to bury it, the mark will rise from the soil like a root that will not die. And yet, carrying the mark is not about perfection. The chosen one is not perfect. The chosen one is faithful. They stumble, but they do not stay fallen. They falter, but they do not surrender. They cry, but they do not drown. The mark is not about flawlessness. It is about faithfulness. It is about showing up again and again, even when weary, even when afraid, even when uncertain. The chosen one is marked not by their absence of fear but by their refusal to let fear rule them. The mark is courage that trembles but still moves forward. The mark is strength that bends but does not break. The mark is hope that flickers but never dies. Do you know what else the mark is? The mark is love. Yes, love. For only those who are chosen to bear the mark can love after betrayal, can forgive after harm, can embrace after rejection. Love is the highest mark of all. It is the proof that you have been refined, not destroyed, by your trials. It is the evidence that the fire that burned you also purified you. The chosen ones are lovers of life, lovers of people, lovers of truth. They do not allow bitterness to become their legacy. They do not allow hatred to carve their name. They choose love again and again, even when the world makes it costly. That too is a mark. And I tell you, beloved, the chosen ones are often lonely, for few understand the marks. Few recognize the fire. Few can bear the weight of a calling so heavy. You may feel isolated. You may feel like an outsider. You may feel that you are walking a path no one else can see. And perhaps that is true. But you must remember that chosen does not mean alone. Though others may not understand your mark, they will be drawn to your light. Though they may not know your struggle, they will be moved by your strength. Though they may not carry your fire, they will be warmed by its glow. You may walk alone, but you will never shine alone. Do not be afraid of the mark. Do not hide it. Do not cover it up for the comfort of others. For your mark is not only for you, it is for the world. Imagine if the sun hid its light because the moon was shy. Imagine if the river refused to flow because the valley was empty. Imagine if the tree withheld its fruit because the soil was dry. The world would starve. The world would darken. The world would wither. So too will the world suffer if you hide your mark. You are chosen because the world needs what you carry. And if you deny your mark, you deny the very reason you were born. So rise, beloved. Rise with your scars. Rise with your fire. Rise with your dreams. Rise with your truth. Rise knowing that the marks upon you are not accidents. They are the handwriting of destiny. They are the fingerprints of eternity. They are the whisper of the universe saying, you are necessary. You are essential. That is the mark. That is the sign. You are stronger than you should be. Braver than you expected to be. More luminous than the darkness around you. The mark is not absence of struggle. The mark is presence of endurance. And beloved, the chosen one is not always the loudest voice in the room. Sometimes they are quiet, listening, observing, learning. For the mark is not in the volume of your speech, but in the weight of your words. The chosen one may not speak often, but when they do, the world leans in. Their silence is not emptiness but preparation, a gathering of thunder before the storm. And when they rise to speak, it is as though the air itself pauses to listen. That is the mark, when even your whisper carries power. Let us not forget that the chosen one's journey is often lonely, because the mark sets them apart. You may feel as though you do not fit, as though you were cut from a cloth different from those around you. And perhaps you were. Perhaps your destiny requires you to stand where no one else has stood, to go where no one else has gone, to carry a fire no one else can bear. This loneliness is not a curse, it is a preparation. It is the sharpening of your blade. It is the molding of your clay. It is the proof that you were not born to blend into the crowd, but to rise above it. And though it hurts, though it aches, though it feels at times unbearable, it is shaping you into the vessel worthy of carrying the mark. The chosen ones carry dreams so heavy that others cannot even comprehend their weight. While some are content with the safety of the shore, The chosen one is haunted by visions of the sea. While some are satisfied with climbing the hill, the chosen one hungers for the mountain. While some are comfortable with silence, the chosen one hears the drumbeat of destiny echoing in their chest. The mark is not comfort, the mark is compulsion. You cannot sleep peacefully, because your dream stirs you awake. You cannot remain satisfied because your spirit urges you forward. You cannot accept less because you know you were meant for more. That hunger is the mark, and yet, beloved, the chosen one does not rise without stumbling. They do not soar without first falling. The mark is not evidence of a flawless journey, but evidence of a relentless spirit. You may fall 100 times, but the mark ensures that you will rise 101. You may face defeat, but the mark ensures you will not be defeated. You may be wounded, but the mark ensures you will heal. The chosen one carries scars not as shame, but as stories. Each scar is a syllable in the poem of your becoming. Each bruise a brushstroke in the painting of your destiny. If you carry scars, if you carry wounds that have healed into wisdom, then, beloved, you are chosen. Do not be fooled into thinking the chosen one must be perfect. No, the chosen one is not chosen because they are flawless. They are chosen because they are faithful. Faithful to rise when they do not feel strong. You are chosen. And when the world tries to tell you otherwise, when voices try to make you doubt, when fear tries to make you shrink, you must return to the question, do I have one? And when you answer yes, when you declare it with your chest, when you live it with your steps, when you breathe it with your being, then nothing and no one can take it away. The chosen one is not waiting to be discovered. The chosen one is waiting to awaken. So awaken, beloved. Awaken to your mark. Awaken to your fire. Awaken to your purpose. Awaken and stand tall. Awaken and shine bright. Awaken and declare, I am chosen. And when you do, the world itself will shift. Mountains will bow. Valleys will rise. Seas will part. And destiny will embrace you, for it has always known your name. And so again I ask, as I have asked before and as I will ask until you cannot deny it. Do you have one? Do you have the mark? Do you have the fire? Do you have the dream? Do you have the courage to bear it? For only the chosen one has these marks. And beloved, if you are hearing these words, if they burn in your chest, if they stir in your soul, then I tell you without hesitation, you are chosen, you are marked, you are called. And now it is time to rise. Beloved, let us travel even deeper into this song of truth, for the river has not yet reached the ocean, and the fire has not yet finished its burning. The story of the chosen one is not a short tale told in whispers, it is a long thunder, echoing through valleys and mountains, carried on the wind until all who breathe can hear its call. To be marked is to live with both a burden and a blessing tied to your very soul, and there is no escaping it. You may try to run, but the mark will follow you like your own shadow. You may try to bury it, but it will bloom through the soil. You may try to deny it, but it will shout louder in your silence. For when the universe has chosen you, when destiny has branded you, you cannot unmark yourself. You can only learn to rise into it, to embrace it, to let it shape the path of your life, until your steps become the very dance of purpose. And there is something about the chosen one that cannot be imitated. Others may try to mimic your stride, copy your words, even borrow your dreams, but they will not have your mark. They may wear the costume, but they will not carry the fire. They may rehearse the lines, but they will not have the voice. They may imitate your rhythm, but they will not know your song. For the mark cannot be faked. It cannot be counterfeited. It cannot be stolen. It is not a mask you wear. It is the blood that flows in your veins. The chosen one carries a vibration that resonates deeper than imitation, an energy that draws eyes and ears even without intention. You do not need to declare it to be chosen. The mark will declare it for you. The chosen one has walked through the valley of rejection. They have stood at the gates of despair. They have been tested by loneliness, pressed by poverty, stretched by responsibility, and still, somehow they carry a smile that disarms the night. The chosen one has cried so deeply that their tears became rivers, but those rivers carved valleys where flowers now bloom. Do you not see it? Do you not see how the very pain you thought would destroy you has built a sanctuary of strength within you? Faithful to keep moving when the road is long. Faithful to believe in the light even when surrounded by shadows. Faithful to love when bitterness would be easier. Faithful to forgive when vengeance would taste sweet. Faithful to try again when failure whispers to quit. Faithful to carry the mark with dignity even when the weight feels unbearable. That faithfulness is the true mark of the chosen. And let me tell you, beloved, the chosen one is not chosen for themselves alone. Their mark is not for selfish gain but for service. The mark is a torch meant to light the way for others. The mark is a ladder meant to lift others higher. The mark is a hand meant to pull others from the pit. To be chosen is to be entrusted with the lives of others. Your light is not only for you, it is for the world. Your strength is not only for you, it is for the weary. Your dream is not only for you, it is for the hopeless. Your voice is not only for you, it is for the silenced. The mark binds you to humanity, for you were chosen not to stand alone on the mountain, but to guide others up its steep slopes. Do you feel that pull? Do you feel that call? Do you feel that responsibility pressing against your chest? That too is the mark, for the chosen one cannot live only for themselves. The chosen one cannot sleep peacefully while others suffer. The chosen one cannot ignore the cries of the broken. The chosen one cannot hoard their light when the world grows dark. The mark is compassion that refuses to die. It is empathy that cannot be silenced. It is love that persists even when the world has given you every reason to hate. That is why the mark is rare, beloved. For not everyone is willing to bear the weight of such love. But you, if you feel it, if you live it, you are chosen. And there will be days, perhaps many, when the chosen one doubts themselves. There will be nights when you will lie awake, asking, am I really chosen? Do I really have the mark, or have I been deceiving myself? On those nights, remember this: doubt itself is proof of your mark, for only the chosen wrestle with such questions. The ordinary do not ask if they are extraordinary. The unmarked do not wonder if they are chosen. Doubt is the shadow cast by the light of your destiny. It is the resistance that proves you are pushing against something worth carrying. So when doubt whispers, do not despair. Recognize it as the echo of your calling, and let it remind you to stand tall in your mark. The chosen one is tested more than others, but they are also strengthened more than others. They are stretched, but they are also expanded. They are pressed, but they are also refined. They are broken, but they are also rebuilt stronger than before. And every trial, every storm, every wound becomes a testament to the power of the mark. Others will look at you and say, how did they survive? How did they endure? How did they rise? And you will smile, not with arrogance but with gratitude. And you will know it was the mark, it was the calling, it was the fire that refused to die. So again I ask, beloved, do you have one? Do you feel it? Do you see it in your scars, in your dreams, in your resilience, in your love? Do you recognize the mark upon your spirit? If you do, then rise into it. Claim it. Live it. For the chosen one is not chosen to hide. They are chosen to shine. They are chosen to burn. They are chosen to rise. And the world is waiting, desperately waiting, for you to bear your mark fully. Beloved, rise. Rise and carry your scars with pride. Rise and let your voice thunder. Rise and let your dream blaze. Rise and let your love heal. Rise, for you are chosen. Rise, for you are marked. Rise, for you are the answer to a prayer whispered long before you were born. Rise, beloved, rise. And when you do, the world will know what the universe has always known, that only the chosen ones have these marks. And you, my beloved, you have one. Beloved, the mark does not fade with time, nor does it shrink beneath the weight of years. It is eternal, etched deeper than the lines on your hands, stronger than the bones that carry you, older than the breath you draw. It is not a passing decoration, but a permanent engraving, woven into your very essence. As the seasons change, as the leaves wither and bloom again, as the sun sets and rises, the mark remains. And each day you live, each trial you endure, each victory you claim, the mark grows clearer, brighter, sharper, until the whole world must see it. For you cannot hide what was written before you took your first breath. You cannot silence what was spoken before you learned your first word. You cannot bury what was planted before